Hello, this is your friend Dr. Samuel Kisseadoo in Virginia. Let's talk about a few ideas that are not exactly right in marriages and some concepts about family life and marriage that are not right. This is the third video in the series and I'm on number 9. A woman is very unclean during her menstrual period. Is that right? Well, there are some cultural and traditional superstitious beliefs and myths, various myths that surround the menstruation of a woman. And there are some traditional cultural adherents who will not even eat the food cooked by a woman in her menstrual period. I had a friend like that. You see, still a graduate, but still holding on to those traditional ideas that your wife is in her period, therefore she's unclean and you don't eat her food. In some very traditional areas in the past, they even built a little house outside that the women who are in their period would go in there and remain there until the period is over. The period should be 3 to 7 days. 3 to 5 is the ideal. That's not a topic now, but if it's less than 3, see a doctor immediately. But by the 5th or, around the 5th day, you shouldn't see fresh blood like day 1, then something is wrong. It goes beyond 7, that's not good at all. Ovulation period for a 28-day cycle will be on a 14th day, but let's talk about that in a different setting, okay? But some of these idea of menstrual period and you are not clean and things, they have their origins in some pagan traditions and some voodoos and juju special powers that the menstrual process obstructs some powers, you see. But in Christianity, nothing like that holds. And the activities of the gods are hindered and all that kind of thing. The menstrual cycle is a natural, very healthy, godly, God-created, important biological cycle. It measures the signals at the time for a woman's ovulation period for fertilization, where the endometrium, which is the lining of the uterus, is shed, is removed, renewed. Okay? And so the woman prepares herself for pregnancy and implantation of the fertilized ovule. Ovule will be applied, the ovum, O-V-U-M, fertilized ovum. Ovum is egg, and the spermatozoon, which we call the sperm, fertilizes for pregnancy and childbirth. There is absolutely nothing unclean about the process of menstruation. Or the menstrual haters, to put it that way, they deduce that the menstrual blood is a form of exclusive waste material. It should be cleaned. Because of where it comes from, we know all that. And the way they think of it must be avoided by men. And I don't know where the idea of it having some nullifying powers for your powers which you have acquired are kind of nullified by that, so it should be avoided. We must understand the complex body of a woman, divinely devised for pregnancy and childbirth, and show a mature attitude towards the changes they go through, and know that every holy or pure woman is a pure and holy before menstruation or after menstruation, and during the period. Women should also do their best to keep themselves and their reproductive organs clean as much as possible to earn the respect of both men and women as best as you can. Don't discard things, the pad and things in ways that do not earn your respect. Impart the knowledge to the young girls, and also for them to prepare themselves to be women, to be wonderful women in their homes and marriages. So the whole idea that when you're on a menstrual period, you are unclean is not right. You see. Number 10, ability to show great sexual strength to a woman and having property, like say a building, and then you exhibit big money, are important signs of being a real man. If you can really sex a woman very well, you have some nice big property, and then you have big money, you're a man. Well, the truth is that a real man, I believe, is the man who exhibits humility, self-control, strength in providing security, and strength in overcoming temptation, diligence in the performance of his duties, courage and boldness to face tough issues, able to hold steady and find workable solutions in the face of crisis. He shows sacrificial love, and he shows care along with affection for his wife and children, and works hard to provide money and the needs of his family, and plans properly to leave a legacy for his family and society, and demonstrates true leadership. That is a strong man. Of course, if you have property, you have money, it gives you certain opportunities and some power of strength of some kind. Let's put it that way. But that is not supposed to say you are a rare man, because there are some who don't have any big property. They don't have big money. And for some, because of some problem, may not have that actual strength for sexual activity. So they are not men at all. And they have a lot of love. They can work hard to provide for their families. They can sit and solve issues of relationships. They have self-control. They discharge duties very well and all that. It is true that sexual strength and sexual performances, plus possession of money and property, give some important indications of a man's strength and readiness to handle and care for a woman in a marriage and for children, to build a family. But we must note that many women have sexual strength, much money, and possessions as well. You see, so if the woman who has it and the man doesn't have like the woman has, then he's not a man. You see, ability to be a wise and good leader with a purpose for women and children, plus the best use of masculine physical strength and the gifts and abilities, use them all for hard work to produce fruitfulness and productivity and make progress in life, advancement in society, must come first before your sexual energies. People have had all the sex they can, but you can't say they are wonderful men. If they are lazy and use women for all kinds of purposes, and they just live on government handouts, so they are real men, I don't think you want to classify them like that. When they are not using the gifts, abilities, and strength of a man to produce something. Okay, your money and property could be there, but you may not be using them to bless society in any way. The wise and proper management of your treasures, your riches, and your material prosperity by a man and his wife, good parenting, fear of God, establishment of a stable marriage, disciplined home and family. These are some of the most important marks or proof of a real manhood or real womanhood in a relationship. It can be a great mess, a big shame, or even destruction if sexuality, wealth, and riches are mismanaged and misused by a man or woman. Number 11. A man marries a woman and brings her into his family or brings the woman home as a special property of a kind, a special gift to serve the family. This is some of the concepts of people in some way, and they never leave the family house after marriage. The man is commanded by God to leave father and mother and cleave to the wife, born together. Genesis 2:24. Sometimes the in-laws are glad that the woman has been brought in to join the family. And the family home, therefore, becomes a permanent place, which is not the best you can do. See, and the woman is helping the extended family. But that is wrong motive for agreeing to help a son to marry. Go and marry and bring a woman to this home, help to clean, to wash, to farm. In the olden days, there was a lot of farming, to do chores, and to give children, to swell up the family. You see, there are a new couple who plan to live with trusted friends as a start. Sometimes even better, in some instances, than living with the family. Not that you don't live there at all, but plan well. They become a burden. And it's a shame that you have married and then 6 months, 1 year, 1.5, 2 years, and you are not making plans to move to your own place. It becomes a bad foundation for the marriage. The man must therefore plan to leave the home of his parents or family home or the home of that friend and start a new independent life with his wife in his own place. Plan before you marry where you're going to live. Some people remain in the family home against the will of God and encounter a lot of interferences and problems, some of which finally cause several marriages to break down or become very sour. We know that in some instances, conditions make things hard for the couple to acquire their own place, so you remain there for a while, but don't let it be a permanent thing. And don't feel so comfortable that you use the money for other things and you will not find your own place. There are some who have deceived several women with that, and they never really moved. Some also have some self-contained, put it that way, some 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom, but it's attached to the family house. In some instances, everything going on there, they hear it. And the woman or the man can easily go and be reporting things about the other partner to the family who are just next door. And then they also come there very easily, frequently, to interfere with many things. That is not the best. Number 12, a man does not share his personal information and secrets with a woman because she is subordinate to the man and is prone to gossip. If God commands a man to bond to the woman and they become one, and if one flesh, and it is adequately understood, and they fully obey, then they have to share all good things equally, have all things in common. The idea of secrets is a different subject, which we'll talk about. Should you share secrets in your courtship or your marriage? Another issue. The question of secrets will then not become a significant problem in the marriage. It will be significant because you share all things together. You see, just that when you are sharing secrets, look at the maturity of the other person. Some things you did wrong in the past, God has dealt with them. Be very careful how you share them. Some things you prepare the person, or the person doesn't have the maturity to receive. So be extra careful how you are sharing. You see, if God has forgiven you, God has dealt with it, let it go. Okay, unless you have to share, because it's affecting a present issue or it's going to be a problem in the future. To understand the reason why I say this or do that. If you committed a lot of abortions, so your womb is messed up, and you hide it, that can be a problem. You see, some things you share them. There are some who masturbate so much that they have premature ejaculation, and it's a big problem for the woman. And sometimes they are aware of what they have done with themselves, or some injections or drugs, or so many things we have done before, and it can be an issue. Some things have to be dealt with. You may have to see a medical officer for that, a special doctor for that, a specialist. You guys have to treat certain things before. Okay, so if you think the other one doesn't have the right to know certain information, and that it can destroy the bond, where you are keeping a lot of secrets and then refusing or neglecting to share personal information, and hiding things and giving it bits and pieces. And some of them you trust somebody else and I go and I hear it there or something. So you need to be very careful about that, because women gossip. Be careful what you tell a woman. And some men won't share at all, because a man, he keeps his information to himself. And some of the women too do that because the man doesn't open up or is shy and all that. You have to learn to break through these things. Okay? Keeping of secrets in a relationship, especially in marriage, is one of the strongest foundations of all human relationships. Destruction. See, marriage is supposed to be a strong relationship, and is the only one which is compared with heaven. And it must be strong. To make it strong, there must be trust. And trust doesn't hide important things, except that maybe the person may not understand something. But you need to be very careful how you keep what you call secrets. You see, there was someone who was working on his immigration papers with the wife. And whenever he came and reported that, oh, they said it's not ready, we must bring this paper, bring this certificate and things, the woman begins to panic. So because of that, when a man goes to immigration and comes, doesn't tell the woman anything. And the woman was complaining, he doesn't share with me, he keeps things. But he says, when I share with her the whole day and it is not ready yet, the whole day, she says, you can't even eat. So you need wisdom, and then you talk to understand each other about some things. It doesn't mean corporate secrets of your workplace or someplace, or even in counseling. Some people tell you, please don't tell anybody. If you say don't tell any other human being in confidence, then don't tell any other human being. You know. But so far as your wife is concerned, there are some things the person will even tell you. You can tell your wife to give the woman point of view and to support me in prayer. If the love is strong, we should be able to sort out these things. Sometimes the indication of inferiority complex makes you scared of someone discovering your weaknesses, or superiority complex that makes you think and feel that you are the best person around the place, and therefore no one else is qualified to receive your information. You see, some are afraid, they feel too inferior to let people know their weaknesses. But some, they feel too big to share. You don't have the right to know. Work on yourself and work it out. Number 13, a woman is always inferior to a man, no matter her talents, gifts, abilities, capabilities, and position in society. You see, why do we think so? Some cultural beliefs hold on fast to the notion that a woman is an inferior human being when compared to a man. You see, I've heard some comments in some cultures before. Someone has a baby. Have you had a human being? Which means you had a man. you know, that is bad. You see, and you treat the person that way. That is why this idea of evolution, where my biology professor, okay, and that area of my biology has evolution there and all that. So it was a problem for me when I saw specializing in biology to go and teach. It was a problem. Yeah, but well, I give it to God, and there's a way of going about it, you know. Because you see, when you begin to think we came from monkeys, that is when you get your gun and you are shooting another monkey, getting on your nerves. You see, the whole idea that part of the sun broke and solidified and formed the earth and all these ideas. You see, the ideal don't say that monkeys became human beings, but we and the monkey have one ancestor. Interesting. They said, oh, monkey. So monkey is giving me problems. Let me shoot that monkey. Let me kick that monkey away. Let me use some sword on that monkey. So is your impression about people determine how you treat them? Although a woman was created from the rib, the side of a man, and is physically, emotionally, psychologically, and the rest different in several respects. We are required to share all gifts and good things equally. Okay? We are fundamentally different. The fundamental differences of a man and a woman do not make the man superior and the woman inferior. You see, the gifts and talents and differences are intended to promote the relationship with God. We must celebrate our differences because the differences make me do something more or better than you. So when we merge the two, then everything becomes complete. We complement each other. Our differences are supposed to help us have deeper fellowship with God and with each other. In 1 Peter 3 verse 7, we are joined heirs. We share all things equally. A woman was never intended to become a follower, just a follower of a man in life. In the same way as standards of holiness, purity, faith, love, and wisdom, and the other virtues, do you see it's different from men and women? Oh, if a woman, they can be hungry. Oh, God understands them. And men, hey, the men don't get angry. No. You see, standard of holiness. You see, one can be more holy than the other. No. Under no circumstances should a man or woman regarded as inferior to any other gender or anything. The same Spirit can live in all of us as the Holy Spirit of God to do the same work. And let me just give one more, actually, that you, for this recording. Women should not be leaders in society in any fashion and should leave all decisions and choices for men to make for them to follow. Who said women can be leaders at all? The subject of leadership role of women tend to generate some heat when you discuss in detail. It's not a subject now, but a pastoral role, I know it's an issue for some churches and all that. Because a woman can be pregnant, their menstrual period, and sometimes you can't even walk, and all these and that and that and that and that. You see, and she is subject to, or say he's vulnerable to some attacks. So women evangelists need a company of a man. A man can walk all alone, but a woman alone can be open to certain attacks. Women can play significant roles in as leaders and as managers in several capacities. You see, especially when there are no courageous men to assume the leadership role. In many courtships or marriages, the men make most of the decisions and simply inform their wives to follow them in their pursuits. That's not good. Must tap her wisdom. Some women tend to do the same as well. There are some women who take decisions without consulting their husbands. This should never be the case. Shouldn't be the case. Because a man and a wife are required to build mutuality in all aspects of their life. If one partner is more talented, more gifted, and happens to be financially richer, financially better, they should allow the fear of God, love, mercy, humility, kindness, compassion, faith, and trust to motivate and train them to work together in unity for the building of deeper intimacy, trust, and faithfulness. This will enable them to finally become mutual in all of their ideas, activities, and attitudes. You can call me in the United States on 1-917-741-0643, 1-917-741-0643. You can also get me on Facebook with Dr. Samuel Kisseadoo. Kisseadoo is Kisseadoo. Dr. Samuel Kisseadoo. Dr. Samuel, then V initial, V Kisseadoo. Or Reverend Dr. Kisseadoo. I have 3 accounts. So 3 walls, different walls. Okay. The phone number in Ghana, you can call Ghana, West Africa is 020-812-6533. Ghana code is 233. So 233-20-812-6533. There is a website, www.fruitfulministriesint.com. The ministry is Fruitful Ministries International Incorporated, evangelistic and teaching Christian ministry. So www.fruitfulministriesint.com. Ministries is R-I-E-S, ministries. There's a broadcast on Joy 99.7 FM in Ghana, West Africa. Saturdays only, 5:30 a.m. to 6 a.m. It's called Hope for Your Family broadcast. Hope for Your Family. I have books from Challenge Bookstore. You can get them. Look for where books are sold. But you call these numbers. Call me or call the Ghana number. We can get you some of the books. And if you want counseling, free, and prayer, anywhere in the world, let us know. We'll find how to connect you with somebody. And I pray that the Lord will guide and lead you to be able to know the right concepts and impressions that you should have for each other as men and women. You can download some of the books as Kindle from Amazon.com. The Lord bless you and strengthen you and keep you. In Jesus' name, amen.